Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another example for states in Angular, a template driven form, where we will be talking mainly about the valid and invalid state. Okay, so by the end of this session, you will be able to understand what is invalid state, what is valid state with practical example. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to use Angular template driven form with valid and invalid state. But prior to that, you should know what is template driven form, the basics of Angular, right? So for that, what you can do, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box, where you can find more than 3000 plus resources available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your requirement, you can go through it and you can try to understand the concept in sequential manner. Okay, fine. So I think now we are good to start with the session. So here for this example, to demonstrate this concept, what we will do, we will create one input field. In that input field, we will apply valid and invalid state. Now when we will consider the state as valid. So suppose on a input field you have applied multiple validation and all those validations are approved, that means fulfilled, then in that case we will consider that state as a valid state. But if input field validation are not verified or fulfilled, then in that case we will consider that state as a invalid state. Okay, now to implement this demo, we need few prerequisites. What? First thing, we need forms module, because we are going to use ng form, right? So to validate this thing, we will use a form module. Second, ngIf, because we will be implementing the conditional statement. So for that, let's go to app.component.ts file. Here you can see I have already imported forms module. So when you write here forms module in imports and press enter, it will add this line. Second is ngIf. So when you add ngIf here and press enter, it will show ngIf here. Okay, so these two things are mandatory before we write the further logic. Once you have added these two things, now you are good to go and implement the further thing. Okay, so let's go there, and here you can see in HTML file we have first main heading as Angular course by Sharmit. Then we have second heading that shows template driven form example in Angular, checking valid versus invalid example, and then we have horizontal row with horizontal row here. Okay, fine. So now we are good to go ahead, and here what we will be doing, firstly I will add here form. Okay, and in this form what we will do, we will simply write here one template reference variable. So for that you can write here my form equal and then the name of the form ng form. Perfect. Okay, now this ng form is not showing any error because we have already added this forms module, otherwise it will show the error. Okay, so in my case it is not showing because we have already imported it. Perfect. Now after this we will add one label here for the input field. So I will be creating this label for username. I will be creating username field. So this is my label. Now after this label, let's add the input field, and in this input field let's write it separately so that you can clearly see. Firstly we will define the type. Type would be text only. Then we will add here a name. Name would be username itself. Okay, and then we will write here ngModel. So simply write ngModel. Then we will write here required. Okay, in required you can write 3. We need at least 3 length. Okay, and then we need the next thing, that is template reference variable. So hash user username ctrl. Okay, and then you can write here ngModel. Perfect. Next is, if you want to keep placeholder you can, but we have already put the label, so I think there is no need to add the placeholder here. So this thing is ready. Now if I press Ctrl S, it will automatically align all the content properly. So this looks good. We have defined the text, username, ngModel, required, and username control. Now the next thing is we will show the values to the user, the boolean values, like whenever the application is loaded, at that time the boolean value, whatever boolean value we have, we will show this to user. So for that, let's add the paragraph. Here I will write strong inside the paragraph just to highlight the heading, and then we will mention here valid. Okay, and then you can simply mention here username control.valid. Okay, that means we will be, like you can see, valid username control.valid. That means we will be seeing the value for the valid here. Likewise, we will add it for the invalid as well. So let's go here, write p tag. In p tag we will add strong, and then we will write here invalid. Okay, so this is invalid, and then we will write here 2 times curly braces, which will tell us username control.invalid. Perfect. So this thing is ready. Now next what we will be doing, like these are the things that developers can understand because it will be returning the true or false only. But to give a proper message, what we will be doing, we will be adding here div to show the customized message. And here I will write *ngIf. So it is not throwing any error because we have already imported it. Okay, so *ngIf, then we will write here username control.invalid and username control.touched. Okay, so in these two conditions I will apply the style color as red, as like this. Okay, fine. So this is the overall generic condition. Now inside this we will add two conditions. Okay, so first one is *ngIf, then we will write here username.control.errors, then question mark dot, then we will add here required, then we will write here username is required. Okay, and after that what we will do, we will add the second condition, and in second condition *ngIf, then we will mention here username control.errors, then we will write here minlength, and after this minlength we will mention the actual condition, like minimum characters required or something like that. Okay, so for that let's write like this: minimum double curly braces, then we will write here username control.errors question mark dot, then minlength length minlength dot required, after square bracket there should be one dot, required length required, and length with a capital LENGTH. Okay, then we will add the curly braces again because it is removed, so add the second curly braces. Perfect. And then we will write here characters required, which is fine now. Okay, so this thing is ready. So we have added the logic for the valid scenarios. Now for invalid scenarios. Now for valid scenarios, we will outside a div we will write here, because in div we have applied the red color, right? So here I will write username control, before that add *ngIf username control.valid, and then we will write here input is valid. Perfect. So this thing is ready. Okay, now you can see I have already added one horizontal row here just to separate out this. You can see in the top also, before starting the form we put this HR, so it will show two horizontal, right, one before the form and one after the form. Here, so we are almost good with this application. So let's run this ngserve -open, enter. Just wait for a few seconds and then it will show you the output in the browser, where we will verify the few things. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, so it comes like this. So you can see, firstly we have got the main heading, that is Angular course by Sharmit. Then it shows template driven form example in Angular, checking valid versus invalid example. Then we have one username field, one input box. Valid is currently false and invalid is true because we have not fulfilled all the condition. Now if I write complete thing like ABC, it will show input is valid, which is correct. But if I write only AB and like, let me clear this. Okay, so you can see it shows username is required, and if I write A, okay, something is wrong with the flow, I think. Let me write like this, AB. Yes, something is wrong. Let's verify that. So we can clearly see that minimum length is not working fine. Let's check the code. Okay, here you can see, yeah, the mistake is here. We have assigned this to required, which is completely wrong. Okay, so let's clear this, because required is something we will just keep as it is. We will not put anything here in required. For min length we will write, like here we will write min length, and in case of min length we will assign 3, not for the required, and that is the reason like it was throwing the error. So let's add min length as 3. Now it is fine. Save it, refresh it. Okay, let's refresh it again. If I write something like ABC, it is valid. If I put only 1 or 2 characters, so now you can see it is showing the perfect message, that is minimum 3 characters are required. 3 characters required. And if I make it blank, it will show, let me clear it first. So it will show username is required. So if you are not providing 3 characters, if providing 3, it is valid. If only 2, it is showing minimum 3 characters required. And if I clear this up, it will show username is required. Clear? So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.